Welcome to a session on core ideology, perhaps of the most important aspect of building any organization, including a political organization like AAP. I hope this session will be of enormous value to you in contributing as a volunteer at AAP. First of all, let's understand what is core ideology. It is a very commonly used term along with a bunch of other terminologies such as principles, policies, beliefs, values, etc. But let's just spend some time in understanding what is core ideology. Core ideology is the only unchanging part of any organization. Please remember, core ideology is equal to core purpose plus core values. Okay, this is called core ideology. Okay, and core ideology helps us be clear about what is the purpose for which we exist, and also talks about what are our core values, and we will cover both of these also very in very easy manner in the next 10 minutes. What it helps us in is to get clear views on various issues as an organization. Number two, core ideology also helps us in selection of our members, whether volunteers, leaders, or whoever. For instance, AAP stands for integrity, honesty, okay, etc. So people who do not have this are unlikely to get attracted to us, or we are unlikely to include them. Core ideology also helps in very broad things such as taking a view on a policy decision. No organization exists without dilemmas and conflicts. Conflicts could be on an issue, or conflicts it could be between two individuals. These are all resolved when you have a lot of clarity on core ideology. The most important aspect of a core ideology is that it helps team leaders to spend a lot of time on doing the right things and not always directing people to do this or that. Core ideology helps in making members self-directed or not entirely dependent on leaders for decision making. Okay, we'll elaborate this further as we move along. This is what we've spoken about. Core ideology is equal to core purpose plus core values. Now, what is core purpose? Core purpose is the reason for existence for the organization itself. It is the singular reason for which the organization comes into existence. For instance, Indian National Congress 150 years ago came into existence to give freedom for India. Similarly, there are organizations that take birth for a particular purpose and they live and die by that purpose. Similarly, there is a purpose of us being here together. What is that purpose? Is called the core purpose. It normally is a very simple single statement that is understandable to everybody. Everybody understands what does it mean. What is core purpose of Aam Aadmi? As you know that there is a document called Swaraj that we have, and we are talking about self-governance by the people of this country, and one of the reasons for our coming into existence, or the core purpose of this, is to ensure that we achieve Swaraj, and we do it in a manner that in doing so we become a powerful instrument of change in politics. For instance, even with just one simple successful experiment in Delhi elections, I think AAP has already begun to impact the way all political parties look at their roles, responsibilities, and approach to politics. That's the beautiful thing about core purpose being very clear. Now let's come to core values. What are core values is something that I'll come in a moment. Uh, but these are the core values that anybody stands for. Okay, the 5 core values are written here. It includes selfless service, commitment to the cause of Swaraj. Number 3, honesty and integrity. Number 4, humility. And number 5, teamwork. Okay, these are the 5 values of Aam Aadmi Party. And core values are those attributes. Core values are those attributes that people will see in our behavior. Okay, which means when you see an Arvind or any leader walking the path of selfless service and risking everything, you know that we are talking about one of the core values. Niswartha Seva is also about one who stands for the goal of Swaraj and willing to stake everything for the cause. This includes comfort, job, money, and most of our volunteers are doing this. They are sacrificing or giving up willingly and happily a lot of things to contribute to the overall cause. Working for the cause by setting aside personal goals and aspirations. Confronting, Niswartha Seva is also confronting selfish elements when you see them and ensure that they are ejected out of the system if they are not following this value of selfless service. And we have seen a couple of our members who have moved away because they have been found out as having been short on Niswartha Seva. Selfless service is also about not compromising on ideals for short-term gains, whether it is personal or organizational. Okay, so one of the important values that we have is one of Niswartha Seva or selfless service. Moving on, commitment to Swaraj, our purpose. Putting the core purpose and the organization ahead of everything else, including self and personal goals, is an important part of commitment to Swaraj or commitment to our purpose. It also means being clear and decisive at all times. So when we announce our candidates against who we call as corrupt politicians, we are risking, even some of our good candidates might lose, but that doesn't matter. But we're very clear that we are here to clean up a whole lot of political corruption. Commitment to the cause is also a lot about taking any role that meets an organizational need and not necessarily staying in the area of comfort. Whatever needs to be done will be taken up by me as a volunteer. It also means, while this can also come up in the teamwork, it also means to own up the failures and not necessarily always look for success. But when success comes our way, we credit it to the team who are committed to Swaraj. Many a time when you are chasing a goal such as what AAP is chasing, it is very likely that we are confronting a situation which is unprecedented. Can we be original and be out of the box so that we get closer to the purpose? There may not be a precedence of such a decision. A chief minister going on a night hartal or strike at India Gate is unheard of, but there is a reason for which we and our leaders did that while we were in the government. Number 3, honesty and integrity, perhaps one of the core values of ours. To ensure no conflict of interest at all times by you and me is an important definition of honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity also means to communicate clearly to any stakeholder what we stand for without fear or favor. It is also a lot about to confront truth and preserving probity at all times. Okay, which means we will not hide behind technicalities when we have confronting any situation. It also is about sharing and disclosing everything in an appropriate forum. Please remember, we are not saying we should disclose everything to every person at all times. No, this is about being honest to the context and disclosing it to the right person at the right time, but doing it entirely. It also means being truthful in all the commitments that we make to any stakeholder, internal or external. So it could be a volunteer, or it could be a voter, or it could be a election commission, whoever. We will try and be completely truthful and honest with all our stakeholders. Humility, an important part. All of us are very simple people. We take pride in the fact that we think and behave like an Aam Aadmi. So being simple and approachable, being down to earth and hands on, being gracious in defeat and humble in victory, and treat both of them as a verdict from the Aam Aadmi is humility by our definition. It also is a lot about not throwing our weight around or quoting people or dropping names in trying to get things done. Can we make things done by virtue of our effort, by virtue of our relationships with our volunteers, with the help of our voters? All of it is part of our humility. Another very important part of humility is being very open to feedback from all quarters, internal members or external stakeholders, so that we improve. After all, we are a new organization and we need to be very humble about it. The last value is teamwork. The only asset that we have at AAP are our volunteers. And without looking at age, experience, gender, we need to build a spirit of team membership so that everybody feels that he belongs to this place without hierarchy or any prejudices. An extremely important part. One of the important visible behaviors of a good team member is to not talk negatively about anyone in his or her absence. We will speak gently and correctly to the right person, but never speak negatively in the person's absence. Make sure that this is not as big as this. Ensure that personal goals do not come in the way of team or purpose. Ensure that we never rude or intimidating or insulting to any member, inside or outside. Just before I close, I'll just make a mention of some important tasks that we always ask new volunteers like yourselves to do are these. Read and internalize the vision document and our core value documents, which are there on our website. Please get some hands-on experience by doing some door-to-door visits and membership drives. Personally make at least 25 members in your own locality, family, office, etc. Get 10 donations. Can you send 10 checks to the address details given on our website? It could be a rupee 5 or 5 crores, doesn't matter. You will have to bring in the best of contributions from people nearby you. And lastly, can we make 10 phone calls to anyone you know for AAP membership or for volunteership? We need them in lakhs for us to make our dream a reality. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about us in this session. I hope to see you soon in another session.